Our guest today is Marisa Michelson. I hope I'm saying that right. Did
Michelson.
I? Michelson. See, I knew I had to stop. Marisa Michelson. That's a good way to start. Just let my ego, let my everything just be thrown out into the open, naked and ashamed, and then the real me can step in.
Welcome to the Pinkhurst Podcast, a real and whimsical look at what it means to be fully alive with all the joy and chaos and pressure and vulnerability and beauty. Take the ride along with unexpected guests and be inspired to fall in love with your own unique destiny and meaning. 14 languages will be utilized in this episode with our final guest, in air quotes. Zachary, Murdock, and Marisa Michelson meander their way through the murky shallows of the soul swamp. They will dissect what it means to practice being a human being in our final episode. Final.
Thwarted plans, aborted dances. While I am alive, help me bend. When winds scream and create melody breeze, when air stills, while I am alive. Those 4 words, feel them, this passing of birds, a temporary flight, to inhabit this skeleton. How often I have squirmed, but don't take it yet. I want to love more. I need to be here before I go, to incarnate more fully. How? As this ink vigil draws to a close, another lantern wick gone short, I trust the wind. These sparks have traveled and will. I am a statue sobbing, unable to cry, a mannequin laughing, unable to smile, a prisoner free in prison, and of course the reverse. Let this Morse code tapping coax songs from your spinal secrets. May you thaw before your time is up. Into the flame, beyond the heat, I see now, no words. It is never too late. This episode is sponsored by Less Words, a company who helps you to stop talk. Our guest today is Marisa Michelson, composer, singer, and music theater artist whose work explores the spiritual and expressive capacities of the human voice. From founding psychedelic vocal performance ensembles, which is a wonderful sentence to say, and imagery, psychedelic vocal ensembles. Collaborating with the New York Philharmonic, Lincoln Center, National Sawdust, The Kitchen, Pioneer Works, and leading interdisciplinary artists, Marisa's work spans the gambit of creative exploration. You have won numerous awards for your off-Broadway productions, and today you are a sought-after somatic voice practitioner who has founded and runs the School of Vocal De-Armoring. Is that right?
That's right. I'm also like, that's good. Are we done? Because
I know. You're exactly. Who knows? I have no idea who I am. Or I wrote a lyric which I may not record earlier today, and I said something about how on his CV he wrote Dreamwalker Ghost King, but in the daytime just an average Joe, no name.
Oh man. Oh God. I was like listening to you do your that beautiful poem from the beginning, and my whole body was resting and softening, and my back was like my belly was and it felt so great. I was also feeling alive with all these ideas, and then you started reading my bio and I was like, okay.
I know. That's how I feel these days. But, for the people listening, as you are, I'll just say it because why not? You are the final guest of this really beautiful journey that is the Pinkhurst. We will have Brad, my co-founder, on one more time to kind of bring it to a close, but you are the final guest, and it does feel perfect, as I mentioned to you, that it is you because of the work you do. So for the people listening, for them to kind of get a little glimmer of the way your exploration, work, passion has manifested in reality, it's really incredible. And like we were speaking about, even the door behind you that you co-created with a friend, or just seeing your space. Yeah, so it's cool. People know what's up. You've been doing shit. You're out here.
Yes, I'm out here. Hello.
I'm out here. Hello. I'm in here.
Hello.
What's up?
I do stuff. Hello.
I'm gonna roll the dice for our new little God Help Me I'm Awake book that we just put out, because it's fun to invite whoever wants to join in here with us. So I'm gonna start with that, or continue with that before we dive into a flow. 2, 5, 4. Let's see who's here. We have Robert Bly. Every part of our personality that we do not love will become hostile to us.
Ooh, yeah.
So the person who mispronounces someone's name, today at the gym, I said goodbye to someone, and it's the girlfriend of someone I know, and I said his name wrong, and I spent like 2 minutes trying to like breathe through this shame, and I was like, should I text the guy? You know, it's like this ridiculous, like trying to, what's it, like an actor has their PR cleanup team trying to constantly tend to the personas thing. And the more and more as I age and whatever, I feel like I can't keep up with it anymore. I just have zero or way less bandwidth, energy to do what I used to do, which is, again, trying to keep my persona intact and tend to what people think of me, or what I think they think of me. Or so that's a perfect quote for me right now as we dive into being bigger on the inside. Our small intestines, I don't know why they're called small intestines, because they're a mile long. Why did people do, that's a mess up there, I think. But enough of that. I'm sick of talking. That's been a big theme for me. So hence, feeling ready to let go of this beautiful journey of the Pink Hearse podcast, this experiment.
Right.
What are new ways to communicate, since words have been falling short for me and feeling kind of just, they don't have a lot of wind in them, if you will. Old ways, letting those go. There was a great mime, Marcel something, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I could have done research, but I didn't. I'm just exhausted. But my dad would always talk about, he's like the most famous mime of all time, how someone once asked him about what it was like to have a speaking role in a film. And he said it was, I'm summarizing and probably messing it up a little, but the sentiment was, it was the most unnatural thing. It was like what he usually would communicate in these innate ways with his body language had to come up and pass that and come out of his mouth. And so that just brought me to your work, and so anything.
Yeah, it resonates. It resonates so much. So much of what you said. But right now, what's coming to me is this. When I was in college, I was studying acting, and what was so difficult for me, as with Marcel, was finding that bridge between my body and what's on the inside, and how to externalize it through my voice. And it would manifest. It's like I remember, this is coming to me now. I remember I would be working on a scene or doing a monologue, and I would feel so much on the inside. I would have so much emotion and energy and aliveness and expression wanting to happen. And it was like, as soon as I went to say it, it felt like just a split, like a split, an absolute split between body and inside and outside. And it was so painful because I wanted to share myself and I wanted to share what was inside, and I felt this block, like I couldn't. And that is what actually, I mean, in this moment, maybe I'll say that's one of the tiny things that led me to the voice work that I do, because I needed so badly to find a way to connect my voice to my body and my inside. And the thing is that I love words and I'm super verbal. My partner will tell you it's actually annoying. I like to debrief every experience with words and description, and I like to talk about experiences, but I need the experience first to happen. I need it to occur as an event.
That's a beautiful point, because I too obviously adore language, and so nothing is ever, black and white, quantifiably black and white. To just say, "Oh, I'm tired of words," is kind of a lazy use of language to describe the feeling I'm feeling. And so your description of that moment or moments on stage, and that really acute awareness of what happened when you had this welling or this inner world, and trying to, and there's seasons and there's times, and I wonder to explore that feeling, what it is that's exhausting me about trying to communicate. And I think about Rumi. I may have mentioned this to you when we spoke recently, but there's a poem by Rumi translated by Coleman Barks, or I don't know where it came from, but when someone asked Rumi why he spoke so much about silence, I guess it was a podcast with Rumi in the 1200s. Someone was interviewing Rumi on a podcast in the 1200s in Persia. But no, and he said, the radiant one in me has never said a word.
Yeah.
And so there's some, or he also said, which I thought of for our conversation today, something like, I want to sing like the birds, free and not worrying about what others think.
Yeah.
Which is a lot about, it seems your work entails a lot of that. So it's like, who's talking? Who are you talking to? What is the goal? And whether it's grocery store, small talk, or a podcast, I guess I'm reevaluating, or maybe I haven't been hearing myself enough, or I've been drowning out voices that are really essential, or some sort of dialogue with inner parts. And something about that.
Do you think you have? I mean, maybe it's also just time for something different.
Yeah. I mean, not even to make it about me, more the exploration of us as two beings of billions who are full of stuff inside that's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
And,
I'm with this, I think Meredith Monk, do you know Meredith Monk?
I don't.
The experimental voice artist, really?
Yeah.
Amazing. And she used to talk about, she probably still does, about voice being able to represent the cracks between emotions, like the spaces between. And I think that's how I have always felt too, that it's like the amount of energies and emotions that tend to live inside me, at least, and a lot of, the thousands of people I've worked with, inside of humans, can be so indiscernible and indefinable. And it's like we can touch in through the feeling world into the vastness of the universe, actually. And when we name and describe, this feeling is like this is like this, it's so important. It's actually a crucial part of the process for a lot of, in therapy or in art making or anything. But to lose sight of the fullness of the experience that we're articulating, defining, is painful. And to be able to be, so for me with voice and with, for example, that ensemble that I ran, which was nonverbal, which because you very amazingly we collaborated on this piece, but
I verbalized.
You verbalized to this piece, but there's like something just so physically and energetically healing and enlivening about being able to find nonverbal expression, but in an articulated way. So it's like, I was reading this incredible book recently called The Diary of a Baby by this amazing psychologist and psychiatrist who, I need to look it up. I can't quite remember his name right now, but he talks, he was a child psychologist and he had, I don't know, 6 kids or something. And he writes this book from the perspective of a baby and talks about the baby crying and what it feels like for the baby. And it's both, it's again, from what we were saying from the beginning, it's a call from the inside, from a genuine expression of a need towards the outside. And the expression itself of the cry actually coordinates the body. It actually coordinates the mechanism. It locates the baby in space, lets the baby feel its own body and feel the environment around it. And literally the vocal folds and the throat and the diaphragm start to move rhythmically and to coordinate in this expression of a sob. And it's real. It's not like, oh, I just need to cry and get it out of me, or, oh, I shouldn't cry, or I think you even said in your introduction something about I can't cry, or I can't.
Yes, I am a statue sobbing, unable to cry.
Unable to cry.
Yeah.
And it's like, with voice is crying, voice is laughing, voice is expressing these internal states, and we can hear the body of the person through their voice. And
I love that.
Yeah.
And you're making me, in a maybe not directly connected way, but I'm thinking about hieroglyphics or you know, Japanese, what is it called? Their letters have a beautiful name. Not kanji, is it? Anyway, something. But
I'm not sure.
They're how potent and almost like full of multiple meanings these symbols can be.
Yeah.
And so I feel like at this stage, due to my awareness of paradox and just how, in my experience, life is an ongoing creation, collaboration with whatever we're in and whatever we are, that language in the social stratosphere, or the accepted, the commonly used language, can just feel very hollow to me now. And it's scary because, you know, being at a grocery store in a small town, being a father, being a local basketball coach of young kids or whatever it may be, you know, you have this like persona that's important to the functioning of your family in town. And as someone who is neurodivergent or whatever the hell, the masking that is, I'm aware of, that I've been doing intuitively for a long time. Yeah, it can be exhausting. So yeah, I love poetry, or the work you're describing with your psychedelic vocal ensemble, articulating the importance of that. And me, the way I do it is obviously partially with tones. Like it's not just words when I deliver.
Right.
When I do music, at least. And just the potentness of being able to use language in a way that creates my own form of a hieroglyphic or something like that, you know?
Yeah. You're using it as expression, like as an outpouring.
Yeah. And not saying something to say something that's final. I feel like our, you know, studying at Pacifica has helped me see the evolution, de-evolution, however you want to see it, of original cosmologies and philosophies that have kind of been Xeroxed in a lot of ways, and then rewritten and edited and gotten weaker in a lot of ways. You know, originally knowing that the heart is the organ of perception, and this is your mind, your first mind, not your brain.
Yeah.
And that life is not a thing to figure out or a thing to solve, or, it's an experience. It's like viewing a painting. We're here to
Yes.
display our essences, and that's a very delicate, powerful, terrifying, intricate situation that requires the listening that you beautifully describe in what you sent me. So yeah, there's just that kind of like taking a neo pill, to use a silly metaphor, via the work that I've done, and choosing again and again to go the ways I went, to take that harder option, which felt like I didn't have a choice. And the more and more I do that, it's impossible to unsee, and I do feel that it'll congeal or reform, but it's interesting to be in the dissolution stage, or the, what's it called? The something latio. I'm looking forward to the coagulatio or whatever in alchemy, but I do feel like I'm in Negretto, or just fully, dismembered. I'm Osiris, and Isis has not located my parts yet.
You mean right now, with
Right
this
now.
ending, with this
ending, with
this,
the
with
work I've
this.
been doing at school, with being a dad, with being sober, with whatever it may be, doesn't matter. With this whole world being in this place. I mean, the whole world is being dismembered right now, specifically now.
Yeah.
So that feeling of like all of these, the release of 1,000 repressed beings, and feeling them inside me, seeing them outside me. And the more I try to, and it seems like the more all of us try to patch up the old ways that weren't working, it's ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't work. It looks silly. It looks see-through. That's why I feel like it's quite glaring now, the oversaturated social medias, or all these, hollow heads of people who we used to obviously kind of at some level buy into or accept on a consensus level. We believe that the surface was being run with some sort of, authority but those of us like you, I doubt any of us ever felt comfortable with it. We always suspected there was some weird ass shit going down, or just something was off. But yeah, I think for me, in that space, not trying to reassemble in the name of presentation, and just allowing the parts for it to be really messy, and like Osiris when he's cut up and his body is scattered throughout the earth. Like, I got one finger in Ethiopia, and a couple toes out in Joshua Tree, and my head, I don't know where my head is. Anyway, things like that.
I feel like it's so interesting, because whenever social media comes up in a conversation, there's a part of me that, like, it's such a knot, like a knot, a K-N-O-T in my field. It's like, and do I want to even talk about, like,
I know,
the
it's
space
stupid
it
to
takes
talk
up?
about. I know, we
but
don't
there's
need to.
also so much like that to undo, of that knot to undo, and I think that people talk about this all the time, and this is part of what so many of us are looking for: the body, the actual body, the primacy of the body, and how somatic experience is not, of course, something that you can find online, and you can't find it in words, and you can't find it in language, and it exists in the doing of the thing. And voice for me is a locating factor. It's like
I love that
sending
image
an
you said
antenna.
when you said that with the baby too, and just orienting to space, it reminds me of like sonar to dolphins or whales, or how I love that. The echolocation.
It is. It is an echolocation. It's a vibrational
It's cool.
world that we're swimming in, and finding our way in. Yeah.
And I didn't. I mean, I think the goal for me, at least, in the name of Even Cowgirls Get the Blues by Tom Robbins, or any of these trippy ass
I love Tom
individuals who really were doing them, And it just so happened that they aligned with the culture in a way that they could make a living off doing them, but that's very rare. And so there's the old man in the cave who's kind of like this trickster figure in Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, or in Half Asleep in Frog Pajamas. These various characters that emerge, obviously elements of Mr. Robbins, rest in peace, himself. But the idea that everything is neutral. So social media is fine. AI, I don't like talking about anything in a way because they're all so icebergy that to really talk about it would take so much time and it's ongoing. So that's why my interest now is like how to create conversation, which for me is art and the new projects, the albums. And I'm trying to do that here with you now because we're like talking about the limitations, which in a way is kind of exploring, but each thing is just so complex. And so that part in the Tom Robbins idea is money is a teacher. If it frustrates me, if social media, like the goal is not to be in a bubble and I've like quit everything. Obviously for me, substance or certain stuff, as I mentioned, being sober, I choose not to, but I'm not, I don't want to live in a way where I'm saying, oh, this is negative ever, or this, because then it still has this weird power.
And it's like what you said, it was the exact, was it the Bly quote that you said?
Yeah, exactly.
That? Anything you turn away from, that's definitely
every part
a
you
journey
don't love,
for me.
every part you don't love in yourself and in the world. And the thing, and the last thing I'll say about the AI, because I brought that up, was through James Hillman's idea, how I understand it, with the anima mundi and the world soul, and then everything has a soul, which is also what Tom Robbins talks about in Skinny Legs and All, with the inanimate objects actually being alive, the can of beans and the old sock, etc., is that everything is an expression of soul, or the world soul, or whatever soul of the soul. I guess we're all whatever, but so AI is actually an expression of the soul of the world. So the question is, what is it saying to me? So it's not so, it's just too easy, which is all, to say this is this or this is that or whatever.
Yeah.
The environment does not feel safe to talk for me in the world. I mean, here I feel safe. I don't, we're great. But in general, not only does it not feel safe, like I'm worried about something's going to happen to me, it's more that it's just futile to talk to most people because who gives a fuck? I don't know. It's just like, what the fuck?
About AI?
No, about
futile?
anything. About anything. I mean, like let's make art. Like, to me, it's like Kevin and I, we joke in the morning, or Brad. There's just certain things that, I don't know. It's just like, if it's not the vibe, it's not the vibe. And I can't.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna say, let's make art. Like that's where it's at, and that's the best.
Me.
I had this for me too, and I think in a way, for everyone, because art could be anything really.
Everything,
but I had this, and I'm going to share a kind of personal story, because hearing you talk, it brings up for me something that has been remains a kind of question, maybe mystery. So in this, I'm not going to get too deep into this because it is very, involves other people than me, but in my ensemble, we worked together for almost a decade. And we would meet weekly and we would collaborate in this nonverbal and physical way. So we would be constantly working with improvisation and meeting each other at the level of energy and emotion and what I call gesture, kind of the level of the essence of a thing. Like how can we tune with our voices and our listening to the inside of the soul of the tree, or like the kind of organizing principle of anything that exists. Like that you could touch into, I don't know, the rock, a particular rock, or the whole idea of rocks or mountains. You could go big, you could go small, but you can feel your way into the essence through voice and body. And it's like this kind of beautiful process of listening and allowing voice to express something beyond the personal, but through the personal. And so we would meet in this amazing way, very united, with a lot of space for conflict as well, because music allows so much, it's so interesting when it comes to dissonance and disagreement. Like everything is music, and there can be clashing and chaos that then, emerges into something harmonic, or one voice over here doing something entirely different from the voices over here. And yet there's some sort of relationship between them and that's what we were always exploring, was what is happening here? What voice is out front? What's behind? Where is there agreement? Where is there disagreement? How does all of it come together to actually make the music? Like that is the music. And it was so powerful and deep and profound, and and yet this is the question part, is that it did not solve the question of what do we do in this world? How do we make peace? Because there was disagreement inside the group, there was challenge inside the group, and inside the musical space, it worked, it came alive, and it kind of had this alchemy and created this alive space of inquiry and beingness. But then it wasn't like when we came back to words, anything was solved.
I appreciate your
Not
honesty.
that we're looking for a solving, but there's something in that, in that challenge, I think, making art, allowing spontaneity, allowing the meeting across different medium. And then the question of what does that really mean in the world?
I think there is a shadow in my journey of art that there was an answer, that I could solve something, So relinquishing that through my own experiences of what you just described countless times has been really cool, and I'm grateful. And even MF Doom, who I sampled at the end of the song, that's the guy speaking.
Cool.
And MF Doom, rest in peace, is one of my favorite people who I actually only really discovered in the past year. I was aware of him, but I fell in love with him in the past year. And he, like Tom Robbins or Rumi, or anyway, the list goes on, of people who lost their minds, it seems. And I mean that in a holy way, in a good way, lost their... It seems like for Doom, from my understanding, that there was a change with certain pain that he experienced at a certain point, and then he went away from the world for a while and returned as this character Doom. And I can just hear in him that he lost his mind through grief and found his real mind, if you will. And so that's what I mean when I say I'm grateful for all of my versions of what you described, the dissonance or the disunion or and you said it so beautifully. And again, thank you for your vulnerability for that. I think for me, it's like the Campbell idea of the world is a mess. It's always been a mess. It always will be a mess. It's not your job to fix the world at all. You're here to work on you. And to me, work on you, which I guess in turn does somehow contribute, or I like to think of us as like little sparks in the forehead of God, maybe. And the more online we come on, the more online it comes on. And I like Jung's idea, or at least it's where I came across it, which were all antennas for, as was it Wilde or Eliot who said the ancients stole all our great ideas.
Yeah.
But anyway, I believe it was Jung who talked about how God also is unconscious and conscious and both, and has like a great shadow. And that's why in my new album, this really intense project, the guinea pig mother has been emerging as this like so blind love, can't even distinguish between the child she gave birth to and eating her own child, and like the terrible devouring, and it's all. So anyway, the Campbell idea to me is, I guess, in the do-gooder way, like, sure, we can contribute to help the world by working on ourselves, but I feel that I can't even give a fuck about helping the world anymore. It's like, it's outside of my control. My job, again, for me, seems to be like to surrender into what cracks me up, what makes me fucking laugh, what makes me want to get up out of bed to do the work that like fully vibrates my being, whatever really turns me on and interests me, which is like Doom or all these people who've gone into these idiosyncratic, like your door, like I can feel it in your work, reading your CV and beyond, and the way, and here and experiencing your art. And then the rest is like, I don't know, it's right there, like I have my work in front of me, my destiny work, and it involves being a dad of a very unique young man, and it involves being Molly's partner, and I'm Juju's, our dog, and I'm his keeper, I guess, or something, and things like that. Just like the material world, the duties are, they kind of arise around this surrender to being a crazy old person in a good way,
I think it's so beautiful, how much you're, how I feel in you this not certainty, because of course it's mystery, but I feel this real truth of this concept, which is there is truth to it, the non-fixing, like the non-fixing is the fixing, like that's
exactly,
and something coming to me somehow when you were talking is because I work so much with breathing, voice is breath, and breath, when there's what people call breath work, which is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about more in case people know Carola Speeds or Donna Farhi, I think is her name. Breathing true, like recovering, restoring, the being with, and you're going to yawn, and that's so perfect. Like that's this natural breath, and somehow it's coming into me like the kind of idea, let's just say, because I need some foil to push against, of breath work as it is a controlling and a kind of using the mind to extend the inhale or extend the exhale to make it rhythmic. And it's for very helpful and interesting purposes. But then if you just watch your breath through what people like Carola Speeds calls experiments, or Donna Farhi calls inquiries instead of an exercise. If you are with this inquiry, watching your breath all the way to the exhale, and then just waiting and noticing, when will your inhale actually on its own arise, and on its own, how big will it be, where will it be in the body, and then watch it, like really learning to follow. And in doing that so much, I can see again and again a grabbing quality to an inhale, and it's coming to me right now in relation somehow to this idea of fixing and non-fixing, and how it's like we try to grab on, and it makes so much sense, but it's actually in the physiological letting go inside the body that the body teaches us what we were born with, and
Boom.
that's where the beingness lies.
The
And
bliss too, the bliss.
yeah, the bliss, the truth, like, and it doesn't solve, quote unquote, it doesn't solve the world's anything, but if we can breathe, I mean, we are, so we're existing, and breathing is tiniest microcosm of a macrocosm of the universe, really. Like, and I'm feeling it now. It's
Me too.
how
It's
great
like
it
an
is
ecstasy right now. I can feel it.
yeah.
I don't even
yeah.
want to say it because but
Yeah.
yeah, that right
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
well, I have all these notes from all of the magic you sent me, and I love that we're just flowing off the flow randomly. But before I do want to talk about some of the beautiful things you sent me, but I also had to just quote myself like an insane person but it's one of the more fresh blossoms from my dark side of my moon brain this morning. Like I quoted earlier from that thing about the CV, blah, blah, blah. I was scribbling some thoughts, and I said something about all that and a little less if you do the math. The important things to learn how to say kiss my ass in at least 13 different languages. Kevin, I will leave that bit of housework up to you. So Kevin, if you're up for it, you should now pause the episode and say kiss my ass in 13 different languages, which I also want to sample on the album. So two birds with one poem.
Bésame el trasero. Va se danar. 미루고가 tum번거려. माझ्या गांडीला मुका घे.
내 엉덩이나 키스해. Baciami il culo.
Kiesero. Kisterasse namir.
Suutle mu takumikku.
Kus mijn kont. Poljubi mi u guzicu. আমার পাছায় চুমু খা kiss my rumpa.
Anyway, I wanted to just mention that liberation for me is genuine, of like to get to that space. I have to say kiss my ass to that. It doesn't have to be so literal, but there has to be a deep kiss my ass going on. And I think of Ralph Waldo Emerson. My mom would always tell me to be great is to be misunderstood. That's one of Emerson's quotes. Today, for the first time, it felt like the first time, but again, it's like we're in an amnesia echo chamber. I've probably had this revelation 100 times, but it felt new to me today. It was like, oh, to be great is to be misunderstood, even to yourself. That was like a big, like even can I hold space and say, I don't understand myself, but I'm allowing it to be. Forget what other people, of course other people are not going to understand. Even I don't understand, but can I steward and allow and follow this part that I don't? Anyway, it was just a nuanced thing, which brings me to, because I do want to, honor some things. This idea of our first conversation where it seemed we both felt a ding, and the idea of bigger on the inside came. I remember in the conversation when we started to talk about thawing the accumulated fear and shame that prevents access to the gigantic realm within. You might call this, in the Jungian worlds that I've been navigating, people say, my friend Olga, a great dancer, she would say decolonizing her body. As a dancer who's been trained in all these ways, her work now is about decolonizing, which very much reminds me of your work. I feel like I'm decolonizing my creativity, my lyricism. Juju's barking wildly because a package was delivered. He's rewilding he's been wild.
Yeah.
He stays wild. We always love Juju barks in the background. That's a good thing. And train honks. But another idea would be rewilding the psyche or all this kind of stuff. But in order to do that, what we spoke about was the willingness to detox the rotten and trapped good funk, or whatever you want to say, all of this stuff that's these layers, in order to sing like Rumi's birds, not caring what others think, releasing these bad quote unquote sounds.
Yeah.
And you said, or you sent me this quote by Edvin. How do you say her last name?
So is Samoshi. Is this the
Samoshi.
don't pretend anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Should I read
amazing.
it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's read it. Yeah.
So in the name of that, of releasing quote unquote bad sounds in order
Yeah.
to, because it also, my point is it all sounds so nice. Let's rewild, let's decolonize, like da-da-da. But it is intense. And like you said, with the vocal work, it got even more maybe painful in some ways, or left with this like uncovering of a stone that did not reveal what we hoped, perhaps subtly. So
right.
Edvin says, don't pretend anything. Don't pretend feelings, or pretend to have a beautiful voice, or pretend to have a bigger voice than you have at the moment, but be content with this voice. The voice is not an end in itself. The goal is that the real person becomes manifest in the voice, liberated from physical tensions, spiritual inhibitions, so that she can be genuine, undisguised, without having to distort herself or try to produce a more beautiful or bigger voice than she has in the moment. Otherwise, she can only pretend. Pretending can also sometimes lead to outward success. Success is popular or material success, but that is not the same as artistic success. And just to pack a zillion things here, because why not? It's how I move. You went on to say, don't objectify your voice, witches. And I am a male witch, so I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Voice is not the material of the singer in the same way as the marble. Is the material of the sculptor. Is that the right way to say it? Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is all of that. All of that magical, not pretending.
That the best quote? I mean, that is everything, especially we're talking about art now and so much, and that's, where I live, and it's almost just, it's exciting. It feels exciting to hear that quote from you, and it feels so true for me. So Edvin Samoshi is Hungarian. He's no longer on this realm, but he's Hungarian Jewish man whose father, Lajos Samosi, created a singing school. This is like the 1930s and that was 40s and then later on, and it's a Western classical school. Like that's the work they're with. Primarily, that's where it emerged from, though. Lajos was a cantor, and so there was a lot of that kind of singing to God experience in his life. But this is a lineage that's my primary lineage in this world, and it's such a blessing to me. And hearing that quote, that thought, that concept about don't pretend anything is like a life motto. And but not again as something I've necessarily achieved. It's like a path. It's just like, oh my God, I can always, what does that even mean when you come down to it? What does pretending mean? Because of course playing is a kind of pretending, but there's something, like, on these subtle layers, like sometimes these levels are big. It's kind of obvious to see, I don't think I sing well. I'm going to, every time I sing, I try to put on a voice that sounds good. Like that's kind of a surface level, I think I have a small voice. I'm going to try to make a huge voice so people will take me seriously. Or, I have a flat voice, let me give it color, or, all these things we try to do that is, as I said, objectifying our voice as a thing, which goes back to what I said at the beginning. There's like a split between body and voice, as opposed to realizing it's an ongoing, emerging expression, ever changing. It's not like you find your real voice. You find the voice that's genuine and not pretending. It's that you're in relationship again and again and again over time with this voice that is an expression of your insides. And it's also a life way. It's like, how do I move through this world in a way that is a true expression of my insides?
Which requires, perhaps, it seems, a lot of that, letting go or making sounds that are uncomfortable or...
Right.
And I think, it's a good point about the nuance of it all, because if we over-literalize things, that grocery store discomfort could, if I took that too literally, I could go in and create a whole, ridiculous scenario that would be damaging and unnecessary. So it's about choosing where to not pretend. I guess we do have to some extent, pretend in order to not create, unnecessary damage to others or to break the container of society or our world or our little village in a way that would not yield any positive results. So it's these micro changes and,
Right. Well, and that unfortunately, it's so not safe for a lot of us to not pretend. And it's not to say oh, look, this horrible world, but that this is a collective creation. This is what we have created, is a space where we're hiding, where it's not actually safe to be authentically expressing,
A lot safer than it was in some ways.
Yeah.
And maybe also in subtler ways, not safe. We're not... Witches aren't being burned per se.
Yeah.
But it's still
right.
The oppression is inside now.
It is inside and outside.
Yeah,
it is.
Both, of course, everywhere.
And you were trying to get kind of into that shadow, the shadow of unpleasant sounds or allowing that kind of making. And by the way, I just have to say, I love that you're yawning and
I know.
being in your body and breath. And
I know as a married to a somatic practitioner that's a good sign. When your stomach gurgles, when you yawn, things of that nature. Yeah.
Amen.
It doesn't mean you're bored.
No.
Exactly.
But I'm Lane Aryeh. Do you know him?
Rings a bell, but no.
Yeah.
No,
a therapist and using voice, using music therapist. Anyway, he talks about this and, that using voice inside of therapeutic work, something will come out of someone that sounds unexpected, surprising, uncomfortable. It's something they don't identify with.
Almost like a Freudian slip.
Almost like that, yeah. And then instead of approaching it how can I smooth that crack over? My voice cracked. Or how can I find the smoothness and the softness in it?
Auto-tune.
It's actually what's there. Yeah, what's there that can be revealed.
Beautiful.
What happens if you go more? The crack, yes. The crack is a portal. A portal.
Yeah. I love that.
The crack is a portal. Yeah. And interestingly enough, kind of just on a practical note, a lot of the times then when I work with people, they're so afraid of cracking at a certain point in their range and being heard by me or by themselves, by their own selves as messing up. And when I say just permission, let yourself crack, first of all, oftentimes then the voice does crack, and guess what? It's okay. In this moment, it's actually okay.
Yeah.
But also over time, it doesn't crack. It actually, the body finds its way into something else.
But because you're okay to crack, it doesn't need to crack.
Yes.
Something like that, It's just you're in the flow with that. There's two jokes. I'm gonna pause here for joke interludes. One, I'm on the fence about it. It might be too rude, but it's kind of funny. So anyway, one part of me thinks it's funny, but don't hold him accountable. Two Freudian people are at lunch having or talking, and one says to the other, I had lunch with my mother the other day and I had the most interesting slip. And he said, what happened? I meant to say pass the salt, and the other one said, but what did you say? I said you ruined my life, you fucking bitch. And the other joke that was coming up before is someone at a job interview and the interviewer says, "Can you tell me what your greatest weakness is as far as you're concerned?" And the person says, "Honesty." And the interviewer says, "I actually don't consider honesty to be a weakness." And the guy says, "I don't give a fuck what you think." So it's like, again, the persona, and all these quotes, like if whoever is listening, if you really are out there hearing this, God bless. Hopefully, hello. And if you ever really want to go back through the 100 and whatever episodes we've done, there are some keys in here and some patterns, and it's probably an interesting de-evolution, but quotes like, "I said to my soul, be still and wait without hope, for hope would be hope for the wrong thing," by T.S. Eliot or Oscar Wilde. I don't know why I always confuse those two, or "Those who the gods wish to punish, they answer their prayers." The reason I bring those up is all the ways that I failed, or I thought I failed, were my, whatever you want to call it. We can say ego, but I really am tired of using words like that. Even saying be authentic annoys me. Everything fucking annoys me right now. Like, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, let's talk some gibberish, man. Like, I need some, like, you know what I mean? That's why I wrote what I wrote on that song. It's like, that's my attempt at saying, like,
Yes.
But anyway, the me that thought it had to be a certain way and tried to quantify the gifts that it considered gifts that were my innate talents. Okay, I don't know how to do anything, but I could be an artist, And I was saying the other day to a family member, I literally don't know anything, like how to do anything other than take care of the home and the family, which is my thing, and to make art. And they looked at me and they're like, "That's a lot." And I was like, "Oh shit, that is kind of a lot. That's kind of awesome."
That's a lot.
But all the ways I failed trying to whatever, I'm so fucking grateful for that. I'm so fucking grateful for that. And that's what I meant with doom or all these kind of things. So yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it was somehow connected to what you were saying. And moving at the pace of body time, not commercial time. All these different, I'm going to roll the dice. I need a shake up. I'm going to smoke a straw. I'm 1 month off cigarettes. Let's see, we got 4, 2, 1. Ah, man, it's perfect. It's Bear's Belly, who's a very powerful figure who is not in a body, but is very here from, I'm sorry, Bear's Belly, that I don't remember the tribe that you're from, but he once allowed himself to be photographed just so he could, someone wanted to, and he said yes. He wouldn't usually have allowed himself to be photographed, but my dad had a photograph of Bear's Belly, and Bear's Belly said, "What they did not know was that a man who has lost everything is the most powerful man in the world." I mean, I kind of just said that. "For a man who has lost everything has nothing left but spirit, and spirit is where his only true power lies."
Yeah. Sweet.
If we were looking at it like this, I'd say we're at the like halftime of the basketball game. So we got to drink our invisible Gatorade or something healthier.
The halftime of the basketball game.
Of this episode. If this episode was a basketball game, it's halftime. So we go back to the locker room, we take a break, we talk about so how we do in the first 2 quarters. I don't know. I think we were pretty good.
We're in a break.
First quarter was,
I felt like very, a lot of excited energy in my system.
Me too.
Like, oh my God. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, me too. I reach a limit of words. I could feel right then when I was talking. You may have felt it since you're attuned that my head started like heating up, and I was like, all right, enough. Too much talking.
I would easily just start singing instead.
Exactly. I would always sing Mother Mary. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. I always sing that at summer camp when I miss my mom.
Oh.
And I feel like I am at, like, life is summer camp and I miss my mom. You know what I mean? Like from the other side. And the answer won't come in this life, it seems. So we got to wait till we get home from summer camp, aka body incarnation.
Yeah.
So are we going to raid the girls? That's a summer camp reference. I don't know who's
I don't know
summer
that
camp. At night
reference.
we'd sneak out and go raid. You would raid
Yeah.
as little kids, and like, you know, it was all funny, very peaceful, young stuff.
I went to piano summer camp, so
Cool.
we didn't raid the girls.
Was it sleep? You didn't get raided either? Darn.
I don't think so.
That's funny.
Maybe.
Was it sleepaway camp?
Yeah. Called Kinhaven.
Cool. I went to Glenbrook. I'm a Waldorf kid, so I was at Rudolf
Oh.
Steiner.
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
city.
we could talk so much about it. I know so much. I mean, anthroposophy was a big part of my life when I was younger, and
Yeah.
my partner when I was in my 20s was a eurythmist.
Yep. So yeah. That's
And my brother went to Waldorf school too. Yeah, totally, which is great. You know, this area is very Waldorfy, by the way. If you ever come,
Yeah.
But,
Because I'm from New York City, so and where are you close to Hawthorne Valley?
like 20 minutes.
Yeah, one of my original best friend, growing up lives right by you. I just spoke to him the other day. He's getting married. I might be out there at some point soon.
Oh, cool.
But we used to go to Hawthorne Valley on like field trips as middle
Yeah.
school kids.
Yeah,
It was cool. I think we slept there
yeah.
once, maybe.
Oh.
But yeah, Waldorf, Eurythmy. It was hard to take Eurythmy seriously as a young boy in New York City.
Of course. It's a kind of hilarious thing to do.
It's awesome,
You
though.
know.
But it was like you got young hip hop head kids who were like trying to be cool and were like doing the it was
totally.
great.
Yeah.
It was cool. But I really appreciate Waldorf's impact on me from main lesson books, you know, drawing our own, not having a history textbook, but copying off the blackboard with calligraphy
Yes.
and watercolors and just what that did.
Memorizing poetry.
sure.
I mean, honestly, that seems like it's had a big influence on you. I think you might have told me that, but I'm like, oh, of course you're a Waldorf kid. Like, it makes so much sense now.
See, the problem is, like, I was writing about this at Pacifica. I feel like I drink things to the dregs, if that's how they say that. So when I read Ginsberg's Howl, I embodied it. Like, it went into me. When I did
cool.
Waldorf, it, in a way, what you're describing, it must have gotten into me. Like, I tattooed my whole head. I'm a fucking like Waldorf kid on psych, you know. And then Pacifica has been intense, and because it's getting into me. I've never been able to just, you know, it's why I wear these glasses now, or certain things. Like, I'm so aware of my boundary and how porous I can be. And it's hard
like
to
that
distinguish what's outside and inside, and, you know.
Right.
And so that's been something to be, that's part of the kiss my ass medicine that I need. You know, I need to like insulate a little bit. And yeah, it's interesting and that's why when I was at a doctor recently and they said, have you ever been tested for autism? I was so happy. I was like so excited, and I still haven't, because going through the medical hoops and loops of like what it takes to actually go to the place, and it's just like, never mind, fuck it. That was enough. I'll just say I'm autistic.
Yeah.
And it gave me so much empathy and grace, not to identify as that, but to have love for myself when things feel and felt so intense in ways that a lot of people I love were like, dude, man up. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, no, it's so intense though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. Life.
Are we back from halftime?
Yeah. That was locker room talk. The good kind of locker room talk, not the Donald Trump locker room talk.
Thank God. Yeah. Ugh.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we're back from halftime. The whistle blew. Let's see. That was the ref. In the song that I wrote with your world that you presented and gracefully, allowed me to do things on, I said something in my fast rambles toward the end about offensive fouls, which is in basketball, if you know, when the person with the ball or the, fouls the other. Usually it's the defensive foul, but it's called an offensive foul. And I said, like rude chickens. Anyway, that's, if you get that pun, offensive fouls like rude chickens.
Yeah, I get the pun. Yeah.
Stupid. So, singing as a bridge between inner and outer. You, who is this? I think this is your words, but if not, you can credit them. Singing is a bridge between inner world and outer world. Singing is making manifest the realms of the invisible. Singing and all voice making or communicating via voice comes from our own body and moves out into the body of another through vibrations and breath. Is it all about what is inside of us and what is internal? It is, perhaps, is what it says, is it? Anyway, in fact, by the time you hear the tone that comes out, it's too late to change it, even if you want to. What's external, the tone that comes out, is the result of a universe of activities occurring inside of our bodies, our minds, our imagination, our hearts, and our spirits. What we identify as crystalline, pure tone, or a sexy and rough one might be full of deadness. But so many of us don't even notice that because we've conditioned ourselves to pay attention to what is external, and we've convinced ourselves that's what matters more than authentic aliveness. And once you commit to prioritizing the interior over the exterior, you might notice that a tone that sounds to you breathy and unsupported is actually full of life, whether or not you personally like the direction that life flows in. You could just say that's the whole episode to me in a nutshell. That's so powerful and beautiful.
Thank you. I don't know what that's from exactly. I've been working on a book. Maybe it's from that. It's kind of beautiful. I think I said this already, but the act of becoming that voice is the act of becoming as opposed to a static final outcome, and the willingness, we're practicing the willingness to, like we already said, be with what is rather than what we necessarily want it to be. And I want to make this concrete. That's what I'm feeling for myself. It's like, it's not actually that the sound of the voice doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Like, of course we want beauty, fullness, richness, interest, depth. It's about how we're relating to our voice, and that relating to trying to control, fix, shift, shape the voice, again, as though it's an object, is first of all impossible, because once the voice comes out of our bodies, it's already out. It's already out here. We cannot change what's there. And also what we hear is conducted inside to our ears through our bones, and it's not the same as the voice that resonates in space through the air. We can't fully know or grab the sound. So we can engage with the process of making music or communicating expression by connecting to our imagination. Like, what do I want to sing? What do I want to say? What do I want to express? And that is the kind of activity. That's the thing we can kind of control by not controlling it. And it's coming to me now that, bringing it back to what you said earlier about not fixing the world, that it comes to you again and again, that what you can do is wake up and be excited, enthusiastic, interested, follow where you're called to, follow what's funny to you. That there's something similar about that. We can enact that process in our physiology, actually, when we're with our voices. We can enact this process of, I can't change my voice out there. Can I follow what's in here? And can I follow what's out there as in terms of music, in terms of form? Can I imagine more? Can I be more with imagination, less with objectification?
Which brings me to your form.
Form, what did I say?
Well, freedom is inextricable from form, as Hedda.
Right.
How do you say Hedda's last name?
This is the Hedda Samoshi is Edvin's sister.
That's what I was going to say.
daughter.
That looks familiar. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Describes below, form refers to both the music and the body. Let the train
Oh, it was
give
nice.
its music.
It was like, yeah.
Form is given through the music, on the one hand, and through the natural functioning of the body on the other. The freer you are, the better you are able to work with your body as an instrument, the more you can risk. Of course, you can't start there. People always do too much at first. It takes a long time before you understand what it is to be free within limits. And I believe this is you. You went on to say, we need forms to make sense of the infinite. Forms make more tangible or audible, in the case of music, the differentiation of the wild, cosmic energies that surround us. Once we understand that musical forms and disciplines are themselves alive, we can begin relating to these forms as though we ourselves are inventing them from the inside. This is a kind of freedom, a freedom within the form. Many singers do this intuitively. Many others hide behind what they see as the perfection of the form in order to sing it accurately and as written, without having allowed themselves to let go of accuracy in order to allow their body to find its place in relationship to the written music as discussed above. And some random quotes you included. Singing was free before it could be studied mechanistically. I love the idea of singing as this kind of natural resource in connection to that. Yeah, I mean, there's so much, and I feel like we've said so much and said it all, but that when Rock was 4, he said dogs must be on leashes if they want to escape.
Ooh.
And I've made t-shirts, and that's influenced our band a lot. And that's like a whole mantra I live by. That's another way of saying that, though. Dogs must be on leashes if they want to escape.
Yeah.
Who else talks a lot about that? Michael Mead is, I mean, all sorts of cats will talk about that.
I know, he's
like
a
you
big
can't,
one for you.
You can't change the body you're born into. There's the idea that you can do anything is bullshit.
Totally. And that we need our limitations.
Exactly.
Actually,
Exactly.
that they're everything. I have felt that so much as a composer that it's actually my limitations that as a composer that help me meet myself where the music really wants to come from. Of course, like developing skills, and because I've written things for, chamber orchestra, many instruments, or
cool.
multiple voices, or electronic scores, or of course the skills I need. Like, of course, that's part of the process, but it's actually where I come up against what I can't do that helps me stay connected to the essence of the thing, because what can I do within the limits that I have? How can I find a way? And with singing, it's like that too. I mean, on the one hand, it's really great to have this endless range, sing so low and sing so high and have access to all the colors. And there's always a point where we can't go farther. There always is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the infinite point, is that I can't go farther with my body, but I can go farther with my mind and my imagination. And how is that meeting? How is that meeting of the imagination and the form? How do I find a way to express or be with the fullness of what I can imagine, and find a way through my very limited, amazing body to bring that into the now, into the here? And it's a kind of painfulness to that, I think.
Oh my God. It's excruciatingly painful in my experience, but it's so back to that, the failure. Like, I believe this may have been Rumi as well, could be Hafez, but failure is the key to the kingdom within. It's the same, similar feeling to me, as like the limitation is the key to the infinity within.
Absolutely.
Or it's the puer, puella, puer. If you keep all the doors open, you're the eternal youth. Nothing ever happens. You have to commit to.
Right.
And that's been a huge journey with Kevin and I in the past year and a half, and it continues to deepen. But just surrendering to who we are and not trying to outdo myself, not trying to, even with someone like MF Doom or Herman Hesse, I've spent so much time when I locate someone like that who sparks the inside of me. My dad would always say, you wouldn't be able to recognize them in that way if it wasn't in you. So in a way, it is in me. But I've tried to imitate them at times, which I think is part of growing and evolving.
Yeah.
But all those roles are taken, like all the seats are taken. And since we are connected to them, another side of that joke I've had is like, my ego switches and says, I'm actually going to take credit for them now because I am them, which it's all silliness. But yeah, just that surrendering into the tools that Kevin and I have, the restraints, the breaking my ankle, the whatever it may be, and you start to see the wonderful opportunity that you have with those and due to those limitations, and how it's all a metaphor anyway. So in Zoolander, when he's talking about the school for ants, if you remember that scene, I
don't remember that scene.
Ben Stiller's playing a silly model, and they're trying to kind of bribe him, this villain, and he shows him a model of a school that would be in his name because he's trying to, woo him. And he says, see, we'll build a school in your name for models. And Ben Stiller looks at him, he says, what is this, a school for ants? How will they even fit in the build? How will they learn if they can't even fit in the building? And I've always felt like, or more than ever, that's what I'm building, is a school for ants. And it doesn't ever need to be literally executed. It doesn't all have to be so fucking literal. The $1 billion ideas that I have, sometimes my dreams like to execute literally would require $100 million for sure.
Right.
More. I have ideas for billion-dollar
Right.
ideas.
Right.
But I don't need to literalize them. And that's a huge distinction that Molly has helped me recognize of the need, the importance of honoring psyche or the other realms or these things or lust or fantasy or whatever it may be, but not needing to literalize them. You know, but you can still like honor them, but you know, that line between what needs to be and that's the old sage or the wisdom of lion's mind, not being a slave to all the nipping cubs and all the, you know, I don't know, something like that. Well, let's see as we slowly. I gotta
would
get
like
rocks
to
in, but
know,
tell me, talk to me.
How was your process writing those words to the piece that I sent? Like what was it like for you? How did it flow?
I've been coming out of a really intense couple months that caught me by surprise because I've been in such a really powerful bliss zen zone, even with life being incredibly challenging. So it wasn't like things were all peachy. I'd found this equilibrium and this kind of access point. So when this happened, which entailed feeling spun out by Pacifica, doing too much, you know, my nervous system just fried, then getting sick a lot, like Rock was sick. Anyway, I had that sinus infection.
Yeah.
I feel like when the music was sent to me, your piece and a few other from Kevin, I usually would immediately jump on songs when they're sent to me. I'm so hungry and eager. I love creating. So someone sends me something new, I'm on it in the next hour, and it's done by that night. These ones and yours stayed there, and I just had this awareness that I'm zapped. And that's a new level for me. I usually would override.
Yeah.
So I knew that we were going to connect today. So a few days ago, I said, okay, I want to now. I feel ready. And I pulled it up. And I have to fight. Every time, I kind of have to fight through the doubts. It's funny, I've written thousands of songs, but every time I have to fight through like, okay, are we doing this now? Like for real, we're going to do it. This is kind of like what you were saying with the sound. You can't take it back. So it's like, okay, are we really doing this? And especially with something with it, I mean, I wanted to talk to you about this separately and we don't need to talk about it now, but it does really work well with the experimental nature of this 36 track project we're doing. So if you wanted it to potentially be involved in that, but it doesn't matter. That's where my headspace has been regardless. And so with a track like that, which is one of a kind, it doesn't have the normal groove that I'm used to, like a certain beat, which those I can just usually find my footing quite quickly. So with this, like the recent songs I've been writing to classical compositions that were composed by my friend, or just different timing, songs with irregular timing, or just, you know, stuff that doesn't just make me groove right away. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was in the morning at dawn. I wrote that song in 3 sections throughout the day. Because the day demanded that I stop writing, and then I had to go do something. And then I finished it outside of Rock's taekwondo lesson as I was pacing around. And I mentioned in the song toward the end, I have the lyrics here. I said something about, what did I say? Basically, I'm saying, oh gosh, like there's 6 minutes. Here I say, obviously, I'm talking to myself when I say, fuck that mofo. Also, don't say mofo. It's corny. Even unborn ghosts know that. Loco track, shit. Potent ink, 6 minutes plus. Gosh damn it, that's a long ride in a short bus. No offense, they drafted him for D. Hold this head while I graduate to freak. throw shots. So that feeling of, I don't know if it's OCD or whatever it is, I have to eat that entire vegetable on my plate. I have to vacuum this whole house. I have to write 6 minutes. I have to cover that track with words for some reason.
I mean, and you chose the longest of the tracks I sent you, by the way.
I know. So there was a humility at that last part when I said burning up I had initially heard burning up the boombox because that's where the groove. There's a few times in that song where a groove dropped, but some of it I actually I was writing it to the music, and then something, like Rock woke up or I was cooking his breakfast or something, and I kept hearing words. So I started writing more without the music, and then I went back. It was messy. That's what I'm trying to say. It was a messy process. And there's parts earlier in the song where there is a groove and I kind of didn't go with it. I just allowed, but I feel like I did ride it in a way that still had its own thing. But when I got to the burning up the box boom, initially that was boombox, but me just being an asshole, I was like, I can't say boombox. That's too normal. So let's just dyslexify that. So burning up the box boom, the only other cattle past the ox to is doom. And then getting into that whole situation.
Yeah. Have the listeners have they heard this yet?
Well, I think we're going to put it at the end, or we could put it. Should we put it at the beginning? Would that make more sense?
I don't know. I mean, it is long, so I don't know how people.
Let's put it at the end. We'll finish it off for you crazy people.
So they'll get to hear it. I mean, you'll get to hear it.
But I think
that was cool.
Yeah, I think the way it started, the first line is coming from this place of exhausted surrender. I would have tried harder. I could have died a martyr. But boogies obfuscated my view of the argument. So right away I'm saying it's like real confession, and then I had to be kind of silly and say, as the world, people are texting me who live in Lebanon, all this shit is happening. I'm like, oh my God, I would have tried harder. I could have died a martyr. I used to do that. But boogies obfuscated my view of the argument, taking it down to like the mundane, simple, like, I'm fucking human. De-armor the heart, sure. Dear amor, I'm older. Amor fati, ideally, but that's probably baloney, right? Iranian drone strikes. Can I borrow one to shoot a cool music vid? Everything hurts, but I'd sooner live. Anyway, we may play that, so I'm being redundant, but
right.
It's just, that's where I've been at, the whole idea of like renounce fame, but still check 100 times in the mirror a day.
Yeah, it's cool. So this is from this album. So this piece I
tell me
sent
about
you
that,
is
please.
from this album called Constellation Core at Modern Accord Depot, because
we'll put
that's
the link
where
of
we
the album and whatever else you want in this. Yeah.
Great. That's where we recorded it initially, and that was Constellation Core is the name of the ensemble. And so we were recording this album over the course of a week. Modern Accord Depot is a residency space. And
beautiful.
It was pretty lo-fi. Like we had 2 mics and
oh wow.
It was live in the space.
10 of you said.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were doing our practice and we recorded a lot. A lot. And then the way the album happened is I went through, listened, picked out the moments that were like, okay, yes.
Crazy.
And did a little bit to them, like a little bit. So once the sections were chosen, like this is a cool section, because it came from so much more material. Then we went to the recording studio in New York City called Figure 8, and added, along with another member of the group, a little more voice in moments, some synth in moments, some drums,
bass, the kind of bass synth,
added the more of that groove kind of, and had that drone sound come in. So we added a little bit.
Almost.
Yeah, the helicopter. But mostly it's an improvised album based on this way we improvised that I call core sounding. So
Yeah.
that piece, I sent you a few tracks, and that one was the longest one I sent. It's called Overnight.
Yeah.
And the whole kind of flow of the album, I think I shared with you, is it's a journey from this.
I want to read what you sent to
Oh,
me.
you want to read it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. This is the album notes.
Yeah, exactly. I just was really struck by how you described it.
Mm.
We, the improvising singers on the album, are embarking on a literal and figurative journey. We begin in an actual train station, the one where we recorded this album, sing a prayer, road prayer, and start to move horizontally as trains do, come down mechanics impulsion. And you're referencing song titles in there.
Those are the
yes?
tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got to figure out how to do italics in my tone of voice.
Right, totally.
At a certain point, alchemy occurs overnight, as it often can in the dark, in the dream space, and in the shadows. During that track, the train stops its horizontal passage and, a la the glass elevator in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, suddenly shoots up and out. We are vertical now, moving differently through space. We land somewhere, and you hear Sarah Beth Pfeiffer,
Yeah.
channeling something new for all of us. Exit up. We now, a burgeoning creature colony, attempt to find our way together, non-Elon, into a vision that is decidedly not the vision of that guy, Elon. You know who I mean. As you listen, you might find yourself imagining universes and worlds. Our sounds are vibrations, your thoughts are vibrations. We all move together through a vibrational reality. There is a richness to be discovered through the nonverbal language of sound and voice. Sans words, this album means to express the spaces between emotions, feelings that live inside the cracks, and beyond the language that limits, divides, and pains. The rich nonverbal language of feeling has its own internal logic. Through it, perhaps we sense our way into the deepest aspects of our humanness. In our album, we wanted dissonance and chaos alongside harmony and order and form. I breathe my own hope into this album that the nonverbal expression of these energies can be profound and healing at the level of the soma and psyche. We are human. We are feeling our way through together.
Mm. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, you did a good job there of why I was so struck by it, of, using words to describe not using words. And
Right. And then,
sorry.
I mean, it's nice to hear that, because I really loved the album, and I loved that journey we went on together. And it does carry this kind of code prayer in its own way.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool to. So then, basically, for the listeners, I sent you a few different tracks, and you chose Overnight, which is interesting because it's actually my favorite track.
Wow.
Even though it's kind of like the longest track, and I think it's my favorite because I remember when we recorded it, and it was dark, and it was overnight, and we were in the room together, and it felt in my body singing with these people like. We were having some sort of seance. I mean, it was so cool. It was like something was coming in, and we were singing, and it was building and growing. And I just remember that feeling, and it felt very true.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That there's a run toward the end. Sounds like a male voice. It's like, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
At that point in the song, it really, I mean, the whole thing, but that part just felt like a ghost groove, a Motown ghost groove moment. And that's my heart. The Motown ghosts. Yeah.
And then you put your words to it, and it was
this
really
guy,
cool.
This guy's
really
coming
cool.
out of left field with a bunch
Amazing.
of jabber.
It's kind of the point, though.
It's the remix.
It's like it is the remix, and it's also like it's a coming together of the nonverbal with the incredibly verbal.
I'm honored.
The poetry.
I'm really honored that I had the opportunity to to be that guy.
Mm.
For that kind of job. And I remember at one point I said something about, what did I say? I say a lot of yap for a song about less words. Doggone it, now he's gone and done it. Got on God's nerves.
Yeah, cool.
So that kind of, I was aware of it the whole time. It's like, get off me words, but just kind of melting. And it was really, I never know. It's like the songs narrowly escape getting beheaded as they're being created every time by that critic in me that's, has the blade and is like, and is calculating with all his little machines, like time, I have to get rock. There's a basketball game later. What's important? What are we doing? How much energy do we have? And he's just, trying to.
It's hard in a world like that we live in to find focused time to be with.
And to make this kind of stuff of all things, which for me, I don't know what it is, it's just, but that's why finding that sample from Doom, as I mentioned, I really fell in love with him recently.
Yeah.
And that's echoed in my head when I watched that interview. And I went and looked for it and I thought, man, that's it right there. And his tone of voice, because he didn't like talking a lot, He let his art speak. He always wore a mask. You never see him without a mask on.
Yeah. You told me you were going to show up today. With
I know. I am metaphorically wearing a pink ski mask right now.
Okay.
I just would have had probably an allergic reaction to the non-healthy fabrics of Amazon pink ski masks. Don't blame me. But having him speak that beautiful part in his kind of haunting tone. And after it was done, I said, I said that in the song, here I am, because I said I'd be. I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Yeah.
Because I felt that the whole time. I think coming out of that slump, the pain, the quiet, the discomfort, the zap energy, I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what this is, but here you go. Yeah. And we're hyping this up. This is like the longest hype up for the track drop ever.
That's so true. That's so true.
And I think we can ride out. I have so many other notes for our episode that I wanted to, or I just had ready, like a sous chef, because you were an amazing sous chef for this. So perhaps we just let it be though, because I'm happy. I think I'd like to roll the dice one last time for the triptych, and then if there's anything else you would love to leave us with, and then we can let Kevin DJ Funk Flex drop that new shit, drop a bomb on it, the new record. Let's see. Three, 2, 5. It's always purple, pink, black for those of you who have the book. The rules are in the front, but anyway, some people forget. 3, 2, 5. We got Nelson Mandela. Mandela. Fools multiply when wise men are silent.
Ooh.
Oh no, is Nelson telling me to keep podcasting? Just kidding.
Ooh.
I'm a fool multiplying. We keep it simple.
I'm like, well, then let's just be silent.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. I think that's it. But I really do hope, as I use more words after saying no more words, to continue our flow in whatever form, to make some more art. It would be really cool in person, however we do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love for you to meet Kevin.
Yeah. Me too. I don't know if we want to, I'm happy to talk more about that anytime. And it was a real kind of amazingly fun for me experience to receive the language on top of that track.
And this could be an off mic conversation, so Kevin, you can cut it if you want, but I also think it's kind of funny to leave things like this, because that's kind of what I'm all about right now, is like, let it hang out, let life be life. If you're actually listening to a podcast, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go live. No, I'm just playing. I'm half joking, but you know what I mean? Like,
I'm like, now is the stretching time.
Yeah.
Like, this is, if you're still listening, that's what's happening over here.
And I'm
for both of
joking
us.
because I've listened to so many things and read thousands of books. So if you find the two of us to be worthwhile companions, then so grateful. And I'm half joking, of course, when I just say like, but anyway, yes, let's make stuff. And yeah, I'd be curious. It's what you just said. It's the same for me. To me, it's like sending presents to friends, you know, and I'm sending them to myself. And so when Kevin sends me a new track, there's nothing more exciting to me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I'll keep it. Sometimes I'll know I'm not even going to listen to it until I'm in a situation where I can listen to it. Like, it's so special, you know? And that, and having weeded down, like, God bless all the people I've worked with, but it's been really hard. And in the past week, there was another resurfacing of a really ancient wound of collaboration that rattled me pretty deeply. And for me, it's just about, if the vibe is right, the vibe is right. And if the vibe is right, there's room for like, there's room, you know, to not hold in. I was going to say this earlier, but all of that like repression or pretending for me is, to use a stupid metaphor or whatever, a crude metaphor. It's like holding in this ancient fart, you know, of your personality. That's what it feels like.
Takes a lot of energy.
It really does. And
It
so
really
anyone
takes
I
a lot of
roll with,
energy.
it has to be like, there has to be room. I can't eggshell. I just can't eggshell, because of course I'm going to say stuff that's like offensive to one part of so-and-so. If I remember I said something to Kevin and I asked him if it was offensive. He said something like, if words offend you, then maybe for someone, because he's just like so immune. He's like, it's words, dude. Like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me want to have a whole other conversation about collaboration, artistic collaboration, because it's so deep. And we kind of already did talk about that a little bit, but, you know, I'm starting this, I think I told you, so my partner and I, he is a
Metal Fire.
singer. He was
Kevin does that
touring.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I always force Kevin into the soul Motown hip hop groove, but Kevin's got a big, like,
It's a cool thing.
It's
a cool thing.
It's really
especially
cool.
coming to voice. But now we're creating a kind of post-rock plus operatic kind of singing.
So
and
cool.
We're playing around with creating this band, this project called Osaria. And so it's very new. It's with one of his former bandmates from when they were kids, because that's when they had their band, and another musician best friend of his, and then me, and it's so intense. We're partners, like long time relationships, dynamics that come up. You know, everyone has their own way of collaborating, their
Control,
own sensitivities,
leadership.
Controls, needs. Like, it's such a kind of amazing
jadedness,
amazing
that's
space of
inevitable,
like
you know?
Jadedness.
Well,
like,
just in long-term
fears.
relationships, sometimes we don't see the brilliance, or we're just kind of dismissive, or it can, if we're not paying attention, it can be, or we can just be kind of annoyed by someone because we know them so well. We're like, oh, this motherfucker's talking about that shit again.
I see what you're saying. Right. Of course, there's all that, and then there's the kind of, just like with two people, there's the third. With more than that, there's the extra. There's the kind of monster. There's the creature, and you know, I love collaborating, and I love collaborating with all sorts of people.
And I hate it.
And it's also a thing. It's also
I fucking hate it. It almost ruined my marriage because I was on the phone so much. Because I'm the type who I like collaborating remotely, ideally, in a weird way, just because I have so many specific things that I'm so sensitive, unfortunately, that I need my routine. So it actually throws me off to like go travel on a plane, or to be in my bed, or to be back watching my basketball at 5 p.m. or up early at the gym. So going
I'm with you.
to like studios especially in the old days, I would smoke and drink to help myself navigate. And I didn't have a wife and a child, and like relentless. But even then it was like, anyway, so because I like remote collaboration, and I'm like a puppy dog, and my inner world is so like, I want to collaborate with the whole world, and I have, Molly would joke, I'm literally trying to collaborate with the busboy back in the day. Like everyone and their mother, if I see a glimmer of an artist, I'm like, yo, let's make something soon. And I was on the phone all the fucking time.
I feel that in you very
rambling.
much.
And now, but now I'm getting way more discerning and way more saying no to myself more than others. I'm just saying no to myself. Like, nah, that's a nice, funny idea. We're going to channel that into what we're already doing, which is why the projects need to be big enough. Of course, we can do little one-off things, I guess, but I don't even like doing that anymore. Like making something just quick to make something. I like to work on projects for upwards of years now. I never used to I did that, but yeah, it's interesting, the collaboration and just calibrating the right humans. And that's the key more than anything to me, is the right people.
That's actually what my partner says about this project. That it's the doing is in the bringing together of the right people.
That's the art.
Then
that's
seeing
the art.
what happens,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And aligning that, because we all have our different expectations. Why are we doing that?
Totally.
And then survival gets mixed into it, and maybe resentment toward
100%.
all this time that's going towards something, but I'm not paying my bills. And now I'm like stressed because I'm like, what the, so it is a holy, a saintly, not to glamorize it but it does feel like it has to be a holy, at least the kind of art it seems like you and I do. There has to be a mutual recognition of we are doing this because we have to for something greater than ourselves. And we recognize, and for ourselves, we recognize that together we're making something that's like nourishment for our deep selves, that's feeding, And if it's not that, in the past, people would hover, or there was all this shadowy shit of like, ooh, Zach could be a superstar, and Zach has these qualities, and so we can make money off Zach with Zach. And then I was like, oh shit, I can make money off this shit. So, and then you put in, say, 5 years, and you get signed and you train all this shit, but then it doesn't fully pan out. Who's still there? Who still is like, I'm all in this motherfucker, regardless of if we're going to get the attention of an A&R or a bunch of likes. I've had like 30 managers. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. Oh, wow. I've been in it,
for me, it makes me really curious to hear a lot more about your journey, first of all, with art, and kind of, I'm really curious to learn more. And
this can be our friendship bridge.
Yeah,
officially.
It's really interesting. And I know for me, I was, I left New York City right after the Lincoln Center project. The same year, I had a musical called 1,000 Nights and One Day about a Jewish man and a Palestinian woman trying to be in a relationship. It was it was very intense, and that happened off Broadway. The Lincoln Center piece happened. My piece, The Desire, the Divinity Project, happened. It was I went to Italy. It was like a huge year, and I was so done. Like I was just like,
tapped.
I'm so done.
All that hustle.
And I'm gonna move upstate.
Yeah.
I need a long break from generating and from even wrestling with these questions you're just sharing, all of this like this art, commerce, self-expression, group expression.
You have a creature at your door, by the way.
Did you just see something happen?
A four-legged.
Underneath the door, do you see it?
Yeah.
My little baby girl. Her name is Cadence.
Cadence.
Yeah.
Cadence is like, what y'all talking about? What you
She's
talking
like,
about, Willis?
Come.
Exactly.
Come get me. This is no fun.
But tell me, finish that, and then we'll wind it down because I have to pick up rock. But so you were burnt out, and you were you?
I was definitely burnt out. I'm just with this kind of, creating, making work, the impulse of where that comes from, and when, all sorts of. There's a million reasons, but anyway, just for my own personal journey, that I took a big break. I needed a long break from that kind of thing.
You and Doom both.
Yeah, that's right.
You have. That's the way to do it.
Exactly.
But I'll just say this, and what I hope to as I've mentioned, in the right times, communicate with you. Like for me, when you have a dope avenue collaboration situation with two people or with however, you're talking through the art in this deeper way. It's like your souls are talking, and then of course you get to have nice small talk or human socializing, which is important too, but it's around that deeper conversation. But then there can, I don't hang out with people, but I have such rich friendships with the people I collaborate with. Like, and I feel so satiated. Like I'm not lacking any social anything, even though I'm like a recluse oddball. But I was going to say the final statement on the podcast where I'm like clinging, I keep talking, can't end it because this is the end of the world as we know it, even though there'll be one more bonus with Bradley Doan, which we recorded last week in case anyone wanted to know timelines. But so this is the last for me. Hermann Hesse is my hero. He wrote a short story called The Painter. I've talked about it on here before, but to tell you about our shared experiences and curiosity around generating artist's life, all the tangles, collaboration, whatever. The man wants to be a great painter. He has this idea in his head that if he could only bring onto the canvas these heroic and noble and gorgeous scenes that would represent his inner world would finally be translated to the outer world. And in his fantasy, the world would then see these pieces and therefore see his inner world. So that brings us full circle to this.
Wow.
And the way, there's a sentence, I've underlined it, the way he described why this cat wanted to be this painter in what I just described, but the way he wrote that sentence, it was like, holy shit, I've never seen the urge of the artist described that way. It was powerful. It is powerful. He goes on and he can't get it right. He's just not good enough. He can't do it. It doesn't work. His paintings are not good enough. He's met his limit, I guess, as far as fulfilling the dream of becoming this glorious painter. He eventually realizes he has to stop. It's like hurting him. So he gives up and he kind of goes upstate New York. One day he's in nature and this moment happens where he sees the way the light hits the tree, hits the water and the sound of the forest. And he has this he does have a spiritual moment, awakening, where he realizes he is this component in this dance that as the witness, he's playing this incredibly important role between the light and the water and the trees and the witnessing of this whole thing. He's filled with like an MDMA level bliss beyond. And now he goes home and he begins painting. And now he's painting. It's overflowing. It's from a new place now. It's this overflow, unbearable. He has to. It's so intense, all these feelings. So he fills his upstate New York new spot with paintings. And eventually people are asking, where's he been? What's he been up to? I think I saw him at the paint store. He's been painting. So his friend says, I want to see your stuff, but he does not want to be around when this happens. He says, here's a key to my apartment. He goes on vacation. When he's gone, his friend comes in and a new genius is discovered. It becomes a whole thing. He becomes famous unbeknownst to him. There's even like articles written. So he's in some tavern far away and he reads an article and he's like, oh shit, that's me. But in the article, they're not describing the paintings he remembers painting because they've named them. They've seen them in their eyes and blah, blah, blah. So he comes back. There's literally a man charging money to go into his apartment who doesn't know it's him. He pays for a ticket. He goes through all of his paintings have the wrong names or just names that are not what his paintings were. He doesn't tell anyone who he is. He doesn't like the way it feels. The story ends where he leaves, never tells anyone, and he goes on to paint countless paintings, but he never shows them to anyone ever again. So I think it doesn't have to be quite so literal and final, but there's something about that journey that I see myself in and I'm still on. And in a way I am kind of painting without showing them to people. But again, it doesn't have to be that literal.
Yeah.
I can still blip it out here and there and
Right.
share in it, but I have to be so hygienic in making sure that my old ghosts don't start doing their thing where they're like, ooh, this one we could do something
Yeah.
real cool with. We could be
Yeah.
famous finally.
Right.
I have to be like, all right, y'all, relax.
Right.
Relax, bro.
Right.
So anyway, last word you want to say? You should say the last words, and I'll
I
literally,
should?
yeah,
I should say
on the
last word.
Pinkhurst podcast, the final words.
Amen. 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 Amen.
Would have tried harder, could have died a martyr, but I boogies obfuscated my view of the argument. D-armor the heart, sure. Dear or more, I'm older. Amor fati ideally, but that's probably baloney, right? Iranian drone strikes, can I borrow one to shoot a cool music vid? Everything hurts, but I'd sooner live. Paid a lot for exotic trains of thought. Trained my heart to sit, domestication of the brain for sport. Pet a dragon and say, this is how I feel in artsy ways. Renounce fame, but still check 100 times in the mirror a day. Who the fuck you talking to? Wearing 4 rings cause I'm schizophrenic and married to a lot of yous. Did I tell you about the time I caught a Mamaluke? Have you read Moomin Trolls? Anyway, I'm oft confused. These days my memory is hazy and I'm not amused by 24 carats that you dangle in the kiddie pool. Rather be an ugly old lunatic than pretty fool. Unfortunately, I'm pretty foolish and petty when it comes to drool. Measuring the spit, how many ounces does the beat deserve? Corporal punishment and permanent banishment of cerebral nerd. Fetal verb said I'm gonna, coulda, woulda, shoulda, purred instead of yada yada. Grunt growl at the timid herd. They didn't hear, nor did they care, which is fine by me. That which is fine. Better put horse blinders on my XYZ. Central Park stallions pulling carriages, the fate of them. I tried my best to be one, but my sentence was outside the pen. A pun in there, if you care to slow and comb the crumbs. You wrote this on your phone on the toilet, didn't you, dummy? Don't be mean, modernity is vicious and I'm gerbil, mom. Oh shit, better split, quit cigarettes. Under duress I twitch, wonder what's under her dress. Abyss, west of Clit, north of Eden, still eating the rest of it. Restless leg like pregnant hymn of dismemberment. Hurtling insanity, candidate for shoe sponsorship. Drew a silhouette of a big button breast and was aroused by the idea, insights into this instrument. Skins squirmed, die, learn, my turn to intern, incarnated so I could shadow angel on this earthworm. Head of pin, dance floors everywhere, banging this, gyrating manically and hooking up like crazy kids. I said I would, so here I am. Sorry if it disappoints, livid revs with whistles point, offensive fouls like rude chickens, crossroads with creaky joints. Why wouldn't I have, she squawked. Can't fly but can walk, can't spell squawk but can talk, can't smell love but can fuck. Isn't hell nice? What the fuck the what? Because enough is enough. Here's where it gets interesting. Inner ear crystal clear tinkle, ding, eureka in the hemisphere of lefty wing. Sound left a muddy footprint on the bridge between, yeah right, olfactory cassettes for the stinky singing. Remnants cling to pinky ring spiral made by Astrid, etc. and so on. Crow's feet at your beauty pageant. A lot of yap for a song about less words. Doggone it, now he's gone and done it, got on God's nerves. Body shamed the tall spur because he blocked my 3 and I felt extremely awkward. Sorry, Wemby, it's not you, it's me. Hurt people and whatnot, you know. Obviously I'm talking to myself when I say fuck that mofo. Also, don't say mofo, it's corny, even unborn ghosts know that. Loco track shit, potent ink like 6 minutes plus. Gosh damn it, that's a long ride in a short bus. No offense, they drafted him for D. Hold this head while I graduate to freak throw shots. Burning up the box, boom. Only other cat I pass the aux to is doom. Doomale. Do a mile in these heels and see how surreal it feels to be too real. It cost me my hype, let alone calluses it cost me to type, let alone rapid aging, deep stress grooves. The rest of this verse is muted, but it's there, boo. I pinky ring promise, kinky ink comets. Begged him on the regular for kegs of more vomit spit.
Yeah, you know what I would say? Follow your heart. There's number one rule. Follow your heart. Like, a lot of people might not see your vision yet. You know what I mean? People might call you crazy and think it won't make sense. Follow your heart and just follow it all the way through. And that's when you'll see you making new ground and people will appreciate it later on. You know what I mean? Never try to do something to impress the next man, you know what I mean, or the next woman. Like, it's really about what you see, you know, what you have inside. You know, everybody's unique individual here. You You know what I mean? So you have something to contribute. So whatever it is, follow that and bring it out and share at the table with all of us, you know what I mean?
God bless the one who says, howdy kitty, and let's go of echoey calm of this domineering. Fake my own death. Question, do they have a word like namaste that means the devil in me recognizes the devil in you? Helicopter dad tells him not to brag about the fact that his rhymes are scratch and sniff, unlike their notepads. That's being kind, they probably never even gripped a pen. These days, type emoji, hey Siri, they're listening. Even then, as I spit the rhyme, she interrupted. Takes so much effort to escape the sticky stuck shit. Fuck it, I don't even care what the world does. I'm rocking in my own, call me girl food. She opens up, happily eating. It had to be me and all the nightmares, adventures, and countless books I've been reading. That was her fattening me up. She's a hungry witch, and I'm her dinner. It's an honor, hear her lick her lips. Before you eat me, can we fuck? I ask timidly. She grins and sweeps the dishes off the counter, breaking everything. Before you enter me, amor, say a prayer, because I'm ovulating and there's magic in the air. Although your destiny's to die, there's a chance you can be my baby, reborn from your own mind. Batshit flows of molasses, bassinet, Moses and basket, gastric groans of the masses, ingest telephone tablets, burp propaganda like acid, masturbate metaface glasses, robot sirens the actress, plays you batting eyelashes. Anyway, I am not one to talk, guilty of the same, airplane mode, try to stop, fair game, code red, down the drain, oh shit. Our babies born in alternate dimensions, every time you come alone, come alone. Fate waits no man, make mother moan. So take both hands to the entrance stone, and with all your might lift, like Nakata. And after we can celebrate with eel, if you survive the gift. Pity poem won't get a hand from me. Commit patricide and I grin gold teeth. Then aside and then one again.